Welcome to Grown Folk Talk and Express Yourself. The podcast will begin momentarily.
Please announce yourself.
All right, all right, all right. You have joined us here on a Friday night. This is the Extra Hype Connection podcast. It's your Cooler Talk edition. I'm your host. I'm Marcus. We got the Extra Hype Connection team in the building tonight for you. We're going to get the podcast started momentarily. We're just getting queued up. But until we get everything in order and situated so we can start our podcast, we got just a little bit of tunes for you to tune into tonight. So if you're feeling all right, you know, you're in a good place, in a good space, and you're ready for some delight, here we go. All righty.
Gratitude, Universal Production Music.
Howdy, howdy. Joffrey in the house. Going on mute.
Once again, Cooler Talk Podcast, Extra Hype Connection. That's the service tonight. Stick around.
Video progress bar 2 minutes. 49 seconds of 2 minutes. 54 seconds. 5.
Once again, everybody, welcome. It's Friday night to your edition of Cooler Talk with the Extra Hype Connection podcast team in the building. Glad you could join us on this evening. We're going to get started right now. I believe we're going to go ahead and get the show on the road. Just want to make sure we're firing on all cylinders so we can have a very smooth way to go this evening on a Friday. So once again, I want to give a big shout out to the Extra Hype team in the building. Of course, my man Flo Focus. That's right, my co-host Flo Focus, the engineer.
Extra high.
Extra high, extra high.
Extra high.
Yes, indeed, everybody. Once again, we want to welcome you back with us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for inviting. That's right, getting your invite on. And we want to welcome all of our new connections. That's right, all of our new listeners. You're just as important to us as our returning listeners. We want to let you know it's good to have you here. And we want to let you know that we got some very, very good and uplifting offerings for you at our website. If you go to https networkingforsuccess.info/Groovology-360. That's 360. We've got our thank you page. You go to the top of that page, there's a drop down, click it. You'll see a page open up with some offerings that we have there for you. Some very good things, especially in times like these where you could use transportation. You could use a little bit of extra cash in your pocket, as well as you could use some other offerings as well at Groovology-360 on the networkingforsuccess.info website, okay? So once again, we got that for you. Also, make sure you check out ProLogicStrategies.com. That's right, the Extra High Connection is live. ProLogicStrategies.com. Create your free account and get involved with the community. Create your own community, your own groups. Have access to different offerings and different things right there on the website that you can use in your daily life to make connections and make it extra high. Also, go to ProLogicStrategies.com/news. See what's going on in our community. See what we're doing out in the communities right here in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and PA. That's right. We've got connections all across the board, and we are growing, and we are spreading. We're taking it by storm, and we ain't playing. All right, so get on board the train. That's right. Get on board, ride this train. You can take it all the way to the last stop and then handle your business, turn around, and we're going to shoot you back to where you stopped on nonstop. So that's right. We got ProLogicStrategies.com. Create a free account today. There's some bonus offerings there as well that you can definitely use right here when we have our Flip Side Fridays coming up next year. Also, we got LiquidManna.com. I tell you that oxygen water, I tell you, it's full of oxygen, it's full of vibrance, it's full of energy, and you know what? It does a whole lot more. I'm going to tell you, go to that website, check it out. If you can't tell what's on that website, I will definitely give you a rundown if you reach out to me by text message. If you're on our notifications list, just send me a text message. I'll be more than happy to give you a rundown and even put you in touch with the owner, the proprietor of the product. That's right. But check it out. When you go there and you see all the wonderful things that they have there, and you go to checkout, and I've just done this. I've done it myself, so I know that it works. Type in this discount code, GTF 2025. That's GTF 2025. When you get ready to place your order, it gives you a 10% discount off of your entire order. I just did it, and I tell you, it gave me some great savings, and we can use those in times like these right about now. It's a great product, great proprietors. They got a very, very good reputation. Check them out. I'm quite sure you're going to love the product. It's water, but it's a little bit different. It has a kick to it. It gives you a boost of energy. It gives you some clarity. Also, it gives you a little bit of stamina and some other things it does, like cleaning, detoxifying, and also works on some kind of components that it makes inert that can be harmful. I tell you, this stuff is great. Check it out. Liquid Manna with 2 M's, MANNA.com. And last but not least, we want you to check out our lovely friend and our lovely constituent down in the Southeast. That's right, not the Southwest, the Southeast, East Coast. Lovely Leslie Wright, proprietor of BearCatBody.com website. Check it out. I'm telling you, she's got something for every part of your body. The ears, the eyes, the dental, the nose, the throat, the skin, the hair, the scalp. She's also got deodorizers. That's right for your body as well as body butters. I'm telling you, she's got it all from A to Z, from crown to the soles of your feet. So make sure you go and check her out at bearcatbody.com. And last but not least, we want to shout out some local businesses that do support this podcast. Wouldn't be right if we didn't. So we'll go through this very quick, and then we'll get into our podcast. All right, my friends? So thank you very much for being a little bit patient. Give me one more minute. We want to give a shout out to the local businesses that we do reach out to and that support this podcast. Konos Restaurant at 16 Clinton Street, right here in the heart of Newark, New Jersey. That's right, the best Spanish cuisine I've ever tasted and ever seen. I love it. You're going to love it too. Go into Konos Restaurant, ask for Alex or Sylvia. They'll be hospitable and glad to meet you, sit you in their dining room. That's right. Have a wonderful, delicious meal. It's the right budget for your pocket, and I tell you, they give you great portions. They don't skimp. I tell you, have a wonderful time there, and tell them that you heard about them from the podcast. All right? Also, we got the Fruit House, 764 Broad Street, Newark, New Jersey. Johan and Isamar, the lovely proprietors there, they're very friendly people, very hospitable. Go and get their spices, their herbs, their natural cold-pressed juices that they do there themselves, the smoothies, the hot teas, the hot coffees, the vegetables, the fruits, everything you need to live a very healthy and balanced life. The Fruit House, 764 Broad Street, New Jersey. That's right. Also, check into Halsey News at 2 Prudential Drive, Newark, New Jersey. Your proprietor, Shahida, will be glad to meet you from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Stop in and say hi to Shahida and let her know that you heard about her business from this podcast as well, the Extra High Connection, of course. And last but not least, for those of you who like a taste of the islands, AJ's Caribbean Taste at 150 Halsey Street just might be the thing for you. Right here in Newark, New Jersey, too. I tell you, oxtails, roti, curry, jerk. Oh, my goodness, all of those seasonings infused in the air, the atmosphere, as well as vegan cuisine. For those of you who like to live a lifestyle that is a bit more healthier, energizing, and helps you to stay green. It's all there for you at AJ Caribbean Taste. Check them out. Tell them that you heard about the place right here on this podcast. All right? And last but not least, my friends, glad to have you here once again, and we're about to get our podcast started. So without further ado, Flow Focus, I think it's time that we should do what we do and get this thing going today. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Glad to have you here, our friends. Glad to have you with Flow Focus and with me. And for those of you who have received our notifications, tonight's podcast is something that I'm quite sure interests everybody. Everybody seems to have an opinion or something to say about relationships. Yes, indeed, relationships. We're going to go a little bit deeper tonight. Relationships is what we're talking about. But we got to let everybody realize something tonight. We instituted a few housekeeping rules. So it's just a few, but we're going to let everybody know what they are. All right. And this is from us to you so that we can keep order. We can make sure that everything is respectful and that everybody stays, number one, on topic. Okay. Our topics tonight stay on topic with us. All right. Now, we'll tell you that, and we want everybody to have the same path, the same experience. So tonight, we won't really go off to rabbit paths, but please stay on topic with us tonight, because if you have something that you want to say, we want to keep it all dialed in and focused in a very good way so that everybody gets the full gist of where we're going tonight. Number two, please be respectful if someone is speaking. Please allow them to have the floor. We do not want anybody to interrupt or step on anybody while they're speaking. That's kind of like stepping on somebody's shoe on purpose, or stepping on their shoestring and you see it loosen and they're trying to walk and they trip. Let's not do that, all right? So we want to actually be respectful to everybody. If someone has the floor and they are talking, please allow them to finish. Once they are done and once the conversation has concluded, for that little segment or that minute, then let yourself be known that you want to speak. We'll go ahead and give you the floor, no problem whatsoever, all right? Number three, and this is the grand finale, and it's really not a finale, but we want everybody who is speaking, okay? Remember this, if you are speaking, please be clear and be concise about what you're speaking. If it's a question, if it's a comment, if it's something to share, okay, please be clear and concise. So if you're talking, don't talk like, no. We want you to project, okay, because we want everybody to hear what you are saying because the spotlight will be yours. It's on you while you have the floor. So please speak out, project, okay? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. All right? And basically, that's what it is tonight, okay? So now, without further ado, everybody, we're going to bring it right to you tonight, relationships. And with regard to relationships tonight, everybody, the topic, we're going to like this one, I think, masculinity. Yes, masculinity. But, curveball. Let's not get this twisted with thinking that it's behavior. Masculinity is not behavior. No. It's not behavior. I think that a lot of us have had the idea through conversations that we've had and heard and information that we seem to pick up from many different sources that masculinity has everything to do with behavior. We hear phrases spoken such as toxic masculinity. And we hear that. We know that that's a real conversation going on, and it's buzzing everywhere. And these are even phrases that are used to describe behaviors and attributed to this thing that is called toxic masculinity. Okay. But tonight, let's get a real perspective and let's get a real understanding and definition for masculinity. Now, we're not necessarily talking about what we get out of the dictionary, although we will accept that. However, what we want to do tonight is we want to really work, just a little work. And we want to get a clear understanding about relationships and what masculinity actually describes. It's not a behavior. It is something that is inherent in men and in women. So we both have this inherent trait. Okay. Now, when we open up the floor, of course, we're going to allow you to come in with your questions, your comments, whatever you may want to talk about with regard to this particular topic. But masculine is something that is mostly attributed to men. Feminine, which is not the topic tonight, but it can be a subtopic tonight, is something that is mostly attributed to women. But understand something, both traits are inherent in both genders, both men and women. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And we'll get into that tonight. So, here's what I want to throw out to everybody, and this may be our first open discussion but I'm going to let you know. Not just yet. I'll let you know when the floor is open. Now, I say that masculinity has very little to do with behavior as its all encompassing definition. Now, masculinity or being masculine is attributed to men, but can also be attributed to women as well. Now, when we think about this, I'm quite sure we think about masculinity as what you may envision. You may envision a man. You may envision him having stature, maybe, built, toned definition, maybe solid, broad shoulders. Maybe, his body is thick, it's spurred, it's solid. Maybe, he has, for some of you, you may envision facial hair, beard, mustache, whatever it may be, hard jawline, deep voice, things of that nature. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, that kind of stuff, But that's only a part of it. Because our counterparts, women, our other gender, also inherently have masculinity as well. Now, I'm going to stop it there for a moment. And now the floor is open for any questions, comments, statements, or anything you want to share regarding what information has just been put out about relationships and about the masculinity surrounding relationships. And remember, I put out there that it is inherent in both genders, both men and women. So if anybody has a question, comment, wants to share, please, the floor is now open. And let's see what you got to say. Should be interesting on a Friday. You got the floor, people. Have at it. What do you say? What do you say? Okay. All right. Well, in that case, let me take it a little further. Does anyone disagree that masculinity is found in both men and women? Does anyone disagree with that? Going once, going twice, third time's a charm. Okay, I'm glad that everybody agrees. Thank you very much. It's called silent or tacit acquiescence. It's when you have the opportunity to speak and respond and you don't, that it automatically creates an agreement, an accord, so to speak. So I want to thank everybody for agreeing with that point that masculinity is attributed to both men and women. So there are no disagreements on that. Great. We're all running on good ground. So let's move it a little bit further now. Now I'm going to tell you why I say this. And you may agree, you may not, but at any time, at this point, from this point forward, you can buzz in at any time. Now, relationships. Mostly, I'm going to just say for the sake of what I grew up with and what I know. We have both genders, men and women, attracted to one another. Men are attracted to women that catch their eye, catch their gaze. Easy on the eyes, great to look at, stare into space, basically daydream. When men see women that really, really catch their eye, that they can't just look away from, like they got to do a double take on, oh, the wheels are turning and everything. We love the way that you present. We love we love the way you carry yourself, your walk, your stride, your confidence in how you walk, your smile when you walk by and you give that bright, ultra bright, glowing smile to us. It just makes us feel like, oh my God, I got her attention. But women like to see us in a different way. They like to see our physical stature. But I believe you all love to hear our voices. You love to hear our conversation. You like to see how we carry ourselves. You want to know if we're the type of men that will commit to doing something once our mind is made up and continue to do it. And those traits attributed to both men and women from each other are contributed. Her femininity is what attracts, his masculinity is what attracts to you. But however, remember this, as men and women, we are complements one to another because we are cut from the same cloth. This is the reason why we are called mankind. We are kinds of men. There are two kinds on this rock, this planet. There's women and there's men. There's two kinds of men, mankind. We share certain attributes. Some of them are more apparent in the other gender, properly speaking. But we do share these things, okay? So when we talk about what's inherent, masculinity is inherent in both, as well as femininity is inherent in both. So when we talk about toxic masculinity, we're actually referring to both genders. Both genders. Technically, because we are considered mankind. Them as well as men. We're both considered mankind. We're kinds of mankind. Okay? We don't exactly look alike, but we are shaped in similar ways. We have heads, shoulders, arms that protrude from them. We have a torso, we have a waist, hips, and legs that extend down to the bottom of the soles of our feet. And we both walk upright, for the most part. For the most part. That's our design, for the most part. But inherently, we share traits. Now, with the men, you may call us masculine because, hey, we do things. We're action takers. You give us some information, we're able to process it, we move. We go grab the refrigerator. 2 or 3 of us, we put it on a dolly. We strap it in, we move it. The elevator's broke, we'll take it down the steps until we get to the bottom. We'll grab the sofa. We'll grab the bedroom set. We'll grab the washer and the dryer. Heck, if we even need to move the stove, we grab that. We clear out all the boxes, all the heavy books, everything that is back-breaking work that makes us sweat, that makes us really use our muscles and our physique. This is what we do. Jacking up the car, changing the tires, in the rain, snow, sleet, or shine. Doesn't matter. The daunting tasks that have to be done, this is what we do. We get it done. Now, it does not mean that a woman cannot do the same thing because, yes, a woman is capable of doing the same things. I have experienced that in my lifetime where I have actually moved furniture and actually had assistance from women in moving the stuff that was being moved in. And it was, I would say, unexpected, but I was glad about it because we were all on the same page, doing the same thing. And the women that were helping us get this stuff up these stairs and into this apartment, we're not saying, oh, I don't want to break a nail. Oh, that's just, I shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to get dirty. No. They were with it. They were like, oh, hold up. They saw us struggling. They said, oh, we got you. Yeah. They had nails. Yeah, they had their hair done. Yeah, they had their hairstyle, a little bit of makeup on here and there, nicely dressed. But you know what? They went and said, hold up, we coming. They went and put on some sneakers. They grabbed some gloves. They said, all right, we got some grips on this. Come on, let's do it. And we were all pitched in to do the same kind of job the same way. Inherently, all of us have this trait of masculinity. But the women showed that they were on and in this with us and said, yeah, we got muscles too. And guess what? If it hadn't been for them helping us, I don't know how long it would have took us to get the stuff in there or how many breaks we would have had to take. But I give them props and I give them kudos. So it doesn't mean that just because we have these traits of masculinity that it means that they're, mannish type of women or tomboys. It doesn't mean that. It means that when it's time for them to really get down and give a hand with the hard work, they ain't afraid to do it. They'll get down.
Inez out of Tampa, Florida.
Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for tuning in with us. We're glad to have you.
Thank you for having
Tampa,
me.
Florida, in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, as I was saying, just because we both inherently have traits of masculinity does not mean that a woman is not feminine or not ladylike. It does not mean that at all. It means that when it is time for things to be done, and her man or the men who are doing this thing are giving it their all, but she sees where she can come in and she can offer some help and assistance, and they say, listen, we don't want you to get all hurt. She said, no, don't worry about that. I'm good. What do you need me to do? That shows that she's in with it. She's not just sitting back watching and saying, what's taking you so long? She's like, no. How can I help and assist? That is a trait of masculinity. She's willing to go that extra mile. She's willing to make sure that the work can get done. She's willing to say that, hey, I'm here, what you need. I got your back. I got you covered. And that's the greatest feeling right there. That's the greatest feeling. To know that even when you're giving your all, you got somebody, especially a female, coming in and saying, hey, no problem, I got you covered, what you need. How can I help? Even if I can't lift that, can I get you some water? Can I get you something to drink? Do you need anything? You need some gloves? Do you need any wraps? Do you need anything? What can I do? How can I help? Dialed all the way in. So when we're talking about masculinity, let's be clear. It's not just attributed to men. It's attributed to both genders because we are both part of mankind. We're both different kinds of the species that we call man. It's just that we have a more feminine side and a more masculine side, but both have traits of masculinity, just as both have traits of femininity. Inherently, women are the nurturers. They're the ones who soften the blow. They make the pain go away. They make the discomfort a little bit less and get us to relax in what it is that we're going through. They're the ones that come in and say, oh, this situation is, this is through the roof. Whoa, let's calm this down. Let's de-escalate this naturally. That's the feminine energy within them. But guess what? It stands on a foundation at that point of masculinity. Why? Because they're standing, they're not backing down, and they're taking something head on with another energy that allows them to deal with that situation naturally. De-escalation, calming, encouragement, lifting you up when you're depressed and feeling down. This is their feminine energy coming through. But sometimes they have to take the situation by the shirt collar, if you will allow me to say it that way, and say, hey, snap out of this. You got this. You can do this. I got your back. I got you covered. What do you need? Talk to me. Let me know what's going on. And it is so easy to just relate, to say, yes, I'm glad that I can just get this out. I'm glad that I have somebody that I can share my situations with, my emotions with, the way that I'm feeling about this, all the stuff that's going on in my head, somebody that can help me to just stabilize and work through this and make it all make sense. Because in relationships, who are the ones that are good at sorting things out, straightening things out, making sure that everything is organized, not chaotic? The feminine side. But when they do it in their strength, they're standing in masculinity to perpetuate or put forth the feminine energy within them. Remember, women are receivers as well as transmitters. Think of it this way. A co-host, my co-host, anybody want the floor? Hold on, you want the floor?
I have a question.
You got the floor. Yes, you do.
So women are transmitters. What was those two things, transmitters and receivers?
Receivers and transmitters, yes.
And what are men?
Men are on the receiving end, but men are the executioner, the action takers.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing that the strong is the man side, the masculine, and women can pull that from within themselves.
You faded out there.
I'm sorry. So what you're saying is, just want to understand.
Okay.
The masculinity. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Marcus? Thank you, Miles. Marcus, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So what I thought I heard you say, what I believe I heard you say, is that women have masculinity like men do, but women are nurturers, first place. But when the time comes, the masculinity, the masculine side, the strong side can show and be useful. Is that correct?
That is correct. I did not hear your whole conversation because you did cut out for a couple of seconds in the beginning, but I got the gist of what you were saying. So I would say that yes, you have pretty much covered what I said, but I would
So
like
I'm
to clarify. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm feeling weak, as always. I am feeling weak in the sense that um, that in this conversation and in this description, women are we're strong, but we're only strong when necessary. But men, on the other hand, are always strong, always in that masculine position. Is
No,
that okay? Good.
no, no, not at all. What I'm saying is that inherently, we both share traits, masculine and feminine, both of us inherently. However, there is, let's say, more noticeable traits that women naturally utilize and put forth, and that men do the same with inherent traits that they naturally utilize and put forth. But we both can interchange traits. Women are nurturers, but men can also nurture. Not the same as women, but men can nurture.
But hey, extra hype.
Men,
Don't forget this part. Don't forget
Mhm.
this part, right? Boys go to Mars to get more candy bars. Okay.
You there?
Can you hear me all right? Can,
You're
can,
fading. You're
can you
fading
hear?
out.
Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, I'm
Now, yes.
sorry.
Now, yes.
Okay. Don't forget this very, very important part here that we're missing. Okay?
Okay. We got
Because
some
see,
technical things.
oh no. Can anybody else hear me? I'm
Yeah, I can
trying to
hear
make
you.
sure. Okay. It might be on your end, Marcus, because we were able to hear Evadine just fine as well. But
Okay.
you
This
seem to
call
be
is
having an
being
issue.
recorded.
I can hear you.
I
The line
appreciate
is
it.
really bad. It's going in and out. So when certain people are speaking, the line breaks up. So you're only getting like partial conversation.
So depending on when someone is talking, see, I think that's a problem with, like, for example, everyone and their microphone is connected to their speaker somehow. And every time your own microphone picks up something in your background, it's going to tweak the what you're hearing so that you're able to get through. It's weird. I don't know. I hear it a lot. I hear it a lot when I'm talking on the internet and different lines and different phones and stuff like that. So maybe if we can mute ourselves when so that we can listen and our background doesn't interfere with our ability to listen, maybe that can help. Not to say anyone is causing any background noise. The microphone might be quieting your output in order to catch your input so that your input makes it through. So it's probably just a technical computer, Wi-Fi, electricity nerd thing. So maybe muting your own microphone will rectify that situation. For anybody who is experiencing that situation, mute on your end, not just through the pressing the star, I think it's star 6, but mute your actual microphone. That should guarantee you won't have problems listening. But if
So
everyone call
the Mars analogy, please.
Yes, yes. So if everyone was able to hear that and rectify a situation, I wanted to jump in here with a bit of a joke, but then to proceed if possible. Boys go to Mars to get more candy bars, right? Girls
This call is no longer being recorded.
girls go to Jupiter to get a lot cuter. That's not how it ends, but I didn't want to be mean about it. Because at the end of the day, okay, there are differences that we notice about each other in all the different ways in the world, and then we might begin to explain them away in different ways, and then certain ways that we describe other things might find their way closer to other things we explain just because of their polarity and their significance and their dynamics. So maybe we mix together men, women, male, female, masculine, feminine in different ways that confuse or conflate each other. They might meld in unnecessarily. It would serve to understand the context by which we talk about these things, for example, masculinity in the relationships perspective. A lot of times we talk about men in a way where they're protectors, providers, and this is like, I want to say like a mainstream kind of thing. This is why we're bringing the conversation up at all. It's like masculinity is held in a certain regard where when there's some strength to be had, like how Ivana was saying, strong when necessary. I said everyone is strong when necessary. You know what I mean? Like, we're not really saying much when we go, men are strong, women are nurturing. It's like we have qualities that might remind us of our mother or our father. You know what I mean? But these qualities, they might be, I don't know, what you might call domineering, or what you might call naive. I don't know. I don't know what you might say about what someone's actions are, but under situations we'll give them categorical, like, suggestive perspective, and everyone's going to differ. You see what I'm saying? Because just like I was saying, there are different aspects. You got your masculinity, femininity, male and female, man, woman. When we mix and match and conflate those, all of the definitions start to lose their validity. So now we get these kinds of conversations. So it's good to have an idea of what it is we're talking about. And if I can clarify, it is about masculinity within the relationships perspective. Can I say that for sure, Marcus?
I would say so. I would say so. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So to proceed, at the end of the day, what I do want to say about it is that, that kind of comes down to a perspective situation. Like, we might have grown up looking at a TV show and it says that, the lead character liked this kind of person. I grew up watching Family Matters, and, there were certain ways about Urkel that, what's her name again? Laura,
Oh,
she didn't like.
right.
You know what I mean? And then there were certain things that me personally I liked more about Myra or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like we all have our own perspectives on who might be attractive for whatever reasons. And when it comes to relationships, we like to generalize. And that's the worst thing you can do because people are very, very nuanced. There's a lot of different aspects and perspectives and experiences that shape our different, perspectives and standpoints on things. Our politics, our morality, our religion. The whole thing. So it's very important to be, you know, be clear that no one's gonna be the same as the next person. Everyone's not gonna be the same. So you can't take what a general perspective might be and say that it's going to happen 100% of the time moving forward with your experience with that demographic, be it boy, girl, man, woman,
Hmm.
masculine, feminine. And that, of course, expands into every other conversation. But when we're talking about relationships, we can't generalize and then expect to get something personal. You see what I'm saying? We walk
Right.
outside and say, I want something generally speaking, and then you find that generality, but it doesn't have anything that's specific for you. It's like, all right, well,
Yes.
I do like white rice, but I like mine with a little bit of salt or whatever it might be. So, I can go on, but I'll go ahead and land this
Mm-hmm.
rickety plane right here.
Tell you, flow focus, your perspectives really bring things together. It's like a tapestry, a canvas, a clear canvas, and it's a tapestry of swirling different colors and shapes, bringing everything together so that it forms more of a picture, object that we can now make out and see. And I do appreciate your input on that. But I was going to say something along the lines of what you were saying about generalities, but masculinity in relationships. And this also goes to femininity too, or what people say feminism may be. But let's think of it in a practical sense. We all have 46 chromosomes. We have 23 from our mother, we have 23 from our father. Each and every baby that is born has the same general number of chromosomes from each of their parents. Now, have you ever heard this when somebody, let's say an aunt or an uncle of yours, used to deal with you or be around you as a little child, and they would say, you know what? You are your father's daughter because you act just like your daddy. Now, did that little girl learn that? Or was that something that was inherent in her and was some type of trait that her father would do naturally, but now the little girl is seen doing something similar to what the father did? Or they say to the son, you are your mother's pride and joy. Because I tell you, you are a math whiz just like your mama. Your mama was great in math, and you just pick it up like that. This is the point that I'm making. And the reason why I say when we talk about masculinity in relationships, what we have to realize is that we're cut from the same cloth. We got 46 chromosomes that make us who we are. 23 from our mom, 23 from our dad. Don't we think that the feminine and the masculine come together and create a baby that grows up and can exhibit both traits that were inherent from their parents as well as developing their own personality, but seasoned with a little bit from their mom and with their dad, a little bit of help, if you will, from both of them? I hope that makes sense. Yes, please.
Yeah, when Flow Focus or Prince was talking, he got me to thinking of the scenario where mom and dad are sitting on the porch. Mom and dad are sitting on the porch and their child is playing down near the curb. And all of a sudden, the child is not on the curb, the child is running out in the street. Generally, the first one to the child's aid is mama. And if the child is up underneath a vehicle, the father, when he realizes, he gets down there and it may be his muscle that actually moves the vehicle off the child. But it was the mother who first recognized the need to do something to help her child. And I believe that's not just in the movie. I think that's in real life. Now, when it comes to the 23 chromosomes and 23 chromosomes, well, what did Prince say? Maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. See? He recognized in himself how he is never satisfied in a relationship because he saw that demonstrated by his mother. All right? And it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for us to imitate one or the other, because seldom do you have two perfect replicas of one another getting together and creating a child. There's differences between the man and between the woman all the time. So masculinity, I remember when I first came to Jersey City, there was a woman that worked for PSC&G. She could handle that jackhammer out there in the street as well as any of her male counterparts. But she always looked like a woman to me. I don't know if masculinity comes into play or not. She could do what those men could do, but you always knew she was a woman. And I'm gonna leave it open like that.
What about today's men and women today? It's all about looks now. A good-looking woman, and he want a good-looking man, and she want a good-looking man, and all that other stuff. That's what it comes down to now.
I agree with what you're saying there as far as it's all about, preferences, and people are like, yeah, I mean, men, I think we do like a pretty girl, but now what what I think would constitute as pretty for one might not be the same for another. You know,
True.
you might give cute, pretty, good looking, gorgeous, beautiful, I don't know, exotic might go farther. I don't know what scale you might want to put on looks. You know what I mean? So then there can have there's people like there's a funny joke that Regina King did one day with Kevin Hart, and they were on the video, and she gets on there in a full ski mask. All you can see is her eyes. And he's like, "Where's Regina? Where is she?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't look, oh, I don't look like I should." And he's like, "Come on now, don't do that. Where's the pretty girl?" And he does like the whole bit, and she's all nervous. But then, she plays it. It was funny, but it was the whole idea that she was wearing no makeup whatsoever. She was plain faced. And then, her playing into the role of like, an insecure woman, but seemingly gaining her confidence with the affirmations coming from Kevin Hart. It was this perspective that like, yeah, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and then it's situational as well. You don't want to come, I guess, for example, to a graduation dinner, in your house slippers, you know what I mean, for example. And that's just a time and a place thing. You might be attracted or not attracted to someone because of their situational awareness in their fashion options. Or maybe they financially do or don't have those options. You don't know. These are lots of reasons why someone may or may not consider a person, like, you know what I mean, attractive or not. Like there's many different reasons. I can't say what it would be for one person, you know, or another. I'll land there, but I could say so much more.
All right, all right. So we've got an interesting path going on here, I would say. Um, Anyone else want to add to this before we take another perspective on this? Because I want to get into the aspect of behavior. So anybody else want to chime in before we go there? We want to dispel some myths tonight. All right. Want to chime in? The floor is still open. And you can always chime in as we go on, but we'll take it here. Going once. Going twice. All right, third time is the charm. Sound the alarm. All right, time to move forward. Now, true to life, we both have traits, men and women, 23 chromosomes, but with those chromosomes come more than just physical attributes. That's also personality. That's the passing of behavioral patterns to what they call epigenetics. You know, you may walk with the stride of your dad, but you may have the allure, you know, the way that you walk may be kind of eye-gazing, like, you know, the way that your mom walks. Maybe she's, you know, just confident, shoulders back, you know, head held high. Your father may walk with intention, purpose, you know, hey, I'm going here. You may have both of those. But let's not mistake what we have as inherent traits for behavior. Because a lot of people use these kinds of words in relationship situations. Oh, if you was really a man, you would so and 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 so. Or if you was really such a great woman, you would be willing to so and so and so and so and so and so. Now, here's the thing. Those things have nothing to do with masculinity or femininity. That has to do with a whole nother topic, which is called behavior. Now, some people may say, well, oh, it's masculine behavior for a man to be this way. Or a man thinks that he's a man because he can do this, but that's not, you know, truly what a man do. That's toxic. His masculinity is toxic. Or we may even say the other part, the opposite about women, you know, and their femininity. Well, that's feminism, and it's, you know, it's disrespectful. It's patronizing. It's degrading to us. Well, let's just put it this way. When we call out things such as toxic this or toxic that, or, you know, whatever we may say about it, we must understand we're talking 23 and 23 here. We have the same inherent traits that we're sitting up here downplaying, or not saying us per se, but that people are downplaying, denigrating, and saying, well, that's toxic. Well, wait a minute. Wait a second. Toxic with the noun or the subject would be an adjective of it. So it wouldn't actually be the subject itself of being toxic, but toxic or toxicity would be the adjective that describes something else. But that does not actually translate into behavior. That is more of an opinion, not so much fact. Because it's based on how somebody perceives or how somebody takes a feel about something. Not so much that it's factually that way all across the board. Because as Flow Focus said earlier, it could be situational. There could be triggers that actually bring forth this kind of action or this dynamic in certain situations, but it may not always be all across the board. So, when we're talking about relationships and what is and what isn't, are we really grasping the whole scope of who we are, what are our inherent traits versus what our behaviors are, which may not have anything to do with our traits? Behavior is something that is learned. It is taught. It is repetitious. It's learned by rote and repetition, basically. It is reactionary most of the time. Most of the time, it's reactionary. However, the way that we are inherently is a constant. It is a consistent. It is who we are. It is the one who is driven, who is focused, who's dialed in, who says, no matter what, I'm getting this done. That's just how I am. I take on a job, and I'm going to do it until it's completed. That's inherent. That is who they are, be they man or woman. It doesn't matter. That is who they are. 23 and 23. Chromosomes makes us who we are. From who? Our mom and our dad. So do we contain both attributes of feminine and the masculine from the divine? I believe we do. So when we are talking about things according to our opinions and according to facts, are we really talking about facts? Are we really talking about what we can say is factual, is constant? Or are we really talking about a perspective of how we feel about someone or something? And are we getting the lines blurred or getting them crossed? How do we view each other? In what esteem do we hold each other? How do we interact with each other? How do we think about one another? Are we playing games? Are we behaving in such a way based on what we've heard from someone else, the opinion of someone else, the input of someone else? Or maybe we just are looking for something that validates what we feel or think, and then we can go with it. Somebody want the floor?
Oh, okay. You put the stuff on it.
Okay, that's you, Brother Miles. I got you, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good, brother. You're good. You're good. But what are we really looking at here? What is the conversation that we're really having? In our relationships, is masculinity a bad thing? Because we both got it. It's just that it's displayed or it is put forth in different ways. But we both have it. To what degrees now? Well, they differ, but we both have it. Feminine, we both got it. But to what degrees? They differ. But what are we really saying? What are we looking at here when we say, well, what is this masculinity stuff? What is this behavior? Why are you trying to act this way? Why are you trying to act like acting like a man? Well, inherently, a man will be a man. Physically, yeah. Intellectually, he will be a man. There is no amount of surgery, in my opinion, just in my humble opinion, that can change that. We are what we are. We're born the way we are. We have different bone density and structures, and there are things that both of us do apart from each other that the other cannot do. And I'm not talking about women with just giving birth. I'm talking about there are actual physical things that women can do that men cannot. Same thing that men can physically do that women cannot. And I'm not talking about lifting up bricks or jackhammering. No, I'm talking about physical things that define us, that make us who we are, that allow us to interact because of our structure. Masculine and feminine contained in both. But we are still another. We complement each other. We're not the same. We're similar, but we do have uniqueness about us. But we do carry both traits, the masculine and the feminine. But case in point, just so that you know that I'm not making this up. Stand in a doorway. Okay? The frame of it. Stand right there at the part, where the floor goes across and meets both sides of the door frame. Both men and women can do this. Stand right in the middle. Keep your feet planted right there in the middle. Lean to one side and let your shoulder lean on one side of the frame of the door. It could be left or right, it don't matter. Then take your feet and try to move them to the same side that you're leaning to. Women can do that, men can't. Women can do
Extra height.
that. Men cannot do it. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, see, therein lies more of that, personal difference. Like, not we're not talking about so much preference. This is what our preferences result in. The many differences and specialities that we all have, but then this is why you have men's size and women's size in, I guess you could say, clothing and stuff like that, because there is a general makeup based on a lot of different factors that generalize these things, you know what I mean? So we're talking like, you, for me, for example, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, David Bowie, and the artist Prince, and like MC Light, right? That's what's masculine. You know what I mean? It's not so much the clothes that they're wearing, but it's more like in the the implicit nature of how they operate. Like it might even be more than just the way that they sit or the mannerisms. You know what I mean? It would be the perspective that they hold or the response to the societal, situational, like what I think it was Miles or Joffrey, I think, was saying, where the kid, it disappears from the yard. Who's going to react first? It's about who's more aware situationally. Maybe the guy's sitting there smoking his pipe, and reading a book, or maybe the mom is reading a book, knitting. Who knows who's paying more attention? Maybe the mom just stepped in to grab some, some lemonade and stepped out, and the father was there to see it. It's situational at that point, because then who's going to run and save them? Like, what can you do when you get there? Who knows what happened? So there's a lot of more things that kind of go on with that. So we got to pin it to a specific situation and then assess based on the contrast. Nothing is masculine or
Mm-hmm.
feminine. It just comes down to how they stack up against one another. Like
Mm-hmm.
when one exists, and then you see something that just looks different, you put it elsewhere. You know what I mean? So it's not so much of a, I guess, conundrum to me. But yeah, gender affirming surgery is definitely a whole nother worm can that I'll leave in the supermarket.
That's just
Hey,
like
man.
when you're
Yes,
growing
indeed, Bob. Go ahead, bro.
like when you're growing up being bad, then you meet certain people and turn you into a better person who could teach you to be better than what you used to be.
And that could be men or women teaching anyone to be a better person.
Yes.
Doesn't matter, because they can relate to both, whether they're teaching a young woman or a young man to be better. They can relate to both.
Even men,
Exactly.
even men would change their ways if they see a girl they like and that girl don't like a bad person. The guy, he go, oh, I'm gonna change my attitude now if I'm gonna get with her. All right, the girl could do the same thing. If she a bad person and a good guy, she could change her ways too.
So what I'm hearing you say is that the influence goes both ways,
Exactly.
whether female, whether male, whether masculine, whether feminine. The effect can be to any situation. It can change it because
Exactly.
That's called a
right.
feedback loop. I literally just started learning about feedback loops yesterday. Listen, you're like, let's say, learning something, and as you learn, you continue to build an understanding. Like the way that they talk about feedback loops is that you're actively moving your hand to pick up a plate that has a bowl of liquid on it, and now you have to balance the liquid and the bowl, so there's a feedback loop that happens as you're lifting the plate. You watch the bowl, you feel the balance, and you continue to move your arm. You watch the bowl, you feel the balance, and you continue to move your arm. That's this feedback loop that we end up in, not only as a society, but like as individuals. We
Hmm.
self correct in certain connotations, in certain situations, in certain moments that, we might then consider the possibilities or not. We're self correcting,
Hmm.
we're getting into this nuance of our situation now. It's not just, well, this happened, logically speaking, I'm going to do this now. And there's only those many choices. There's probably
Hmm.
more fractalized choices going in and out in every situation that we don't consider because we are so unmovable in our perspectives and whatever it might be. So, I can go on, but what are we really talking about here?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Um, Interesting that you bring that up because technically speaking, it does speak to the fact that, okay, can a woman raise a young boy to be, you know, a respectable man? And can a man raise a young woman to be a lovely young lady? I would say yes, that both can do the job. Both now check this out. Inherently, if we didn't have both traits of masculine and feminine, could we successfully relate to the opposite gender?
You know what,
Will we
extra
even
hype?
understand each other?
I think
Hmm.
you're on the lines of getting to like something here, right? And it just dawned on me that unhindered, both sexes or genders, if you will, would would succeed more or less equally, unhindered, given all advantages. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
let's say the guy was his 6 foot tallness or whatever, or the woman did have, the right kind of upper body strength. Like, these are considering best case scenarios. Everyone wins. You know what I mean? The
Hmm.
situation we get into is that every man is not 6 foot tall. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every
Right.
woman doesn't have the upper body strength. So
Right.
once we start talking about these things, it's like, are we talking about it subjectively or objectively in a vacuum or best case scenario, or like, the conversation never is in my experience, generally speaking, the conversation is seldom solid in foundation that can allow people to really pull some sort of an insight from the conversation. It just kind of meanders around, a lot of different things, and we can't tie it
Right.
down as much. So, when it
Hmm.
comes to the masculine and feminine traits, I like to look at it like, I mean, on the ankh, you have male going up and
Yes.
down, females the sideways bar, then
Yes.
together they form life because man, woman, life. But I just look at it as women set the bar in life and men have to live up to that standard. And once they meet, then we proceed. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I land there.
Yeah, as
Like
men, we stop trying to be macho men and just be men.
okay.
Oh yeah, let me tell you something about the macho man, okay? You don't know anything about mania, the wild, wicked side of the 6 foot tall man standing on that turnbuckle coming down with that elbow. Bam! Man, I tell you, it's a crazy thing.
Because a lot of brothers will try to act like somebody they not just to impress somebody, and then they find themselves acting a different way, and then everybody say, "Why you acting like this and now that?" And all of a sudden now he got to explain why he acting like that.
And you know
I
what,
forgot to
Miles? I'm
say, I forgot
glad
to
you
say,
said that.
and scene, just in case y'all thought I was acting different.
Thank you, bro.
But these are two examples right here, not so much of inherent traits of masculinity, but behavioral patterns that have nothing to do with the inherent traits. These are things that are taught and learned, accepted, and then parroted back out for the next person to take it in, process it, perform it, and parrot it back out. Once again, slow focus, the loop that you spoke of earlier. This has nothing, not so much to do with masculinity, although it can be some overtones there and a little bit of frills and window dressing on it. But technically, this is a pattern of behavior. Now, that's a whole different topic because I believe that a lot of people get masculine and femininity confused or conflated with behavior. Two different worlds apart. One is inherent, the other is learned. So with that, I'm going to kind of land it there. And I'm going to say the floor is open. You guys want to make a comment? Ask a question? The floor is yours. Please, feel free. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And let's do a check here while we're waiting for our lucky candidate to come in. Okay. Well, if there are no more questions or comments, I believe there could be a few out here, but
Extra height.
there you go. There you go.
I just want to say, whatever you just did to your phone made you sound so much clearer and like in there now. That's all I wanted to say. Whatever you just did right now, it made a whole world of difference.
So this sound is a little bit better. Right here. You're saying
Yes,
this sound is better. Oh,
yes,
okay.
this is way better.
All
Whatever you
righty.
got going on right here.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me know that. These are things that sometimes I don't pick up on right away. But that's why we got the extra hot connection in the team, in the building. That's right. So, once again, my friends, you do have the floor. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can do it this way. Let's see if we can kind of like take a vote on this. So, tonight's podcast was about relationships dealing with masculinity. Now, just by a show of voices, something like that, right? How many of us on the line tonight agree, and I think we had in the court earlier, but I'm going to throw it out here again. How many of us on the line tonight agree with the thought that masculinity is part of both the feminine or the female and the male experience.
Yay!
All right.
Puzzle.
All right. All right. Now, are there any that oppose? Raise your voice. Any opposed?
But one thing we always got to remember, we all came out of a female.
Yeah, but what about the topic? Do you believe that both share masculine tendencies or not? That was the poll.
I said we both share both sides.
And that answers the poll. Okay. I'm scratching my head.
All right. Well, I guess the ayes, the ones who spoke up, have it. All right. We seem to have no opposition here. That is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes it's actually a very good thing, though. It's always good to keep ourselves in shape and on point. I'll just put it that way. But at this point in our podcast, I just want to make a couple of announcements before we go back to any more Q&A. I want to make a couple of announcements really, really quick. Tomorrow, many of you may know, you may have heard, but in case you didn't, I'm going to let you know now. I am participating in a 5K walk/jog/run event here in New Jersey, the Northern New Jersey chapter of the National Federation of the Blind. Yes, I'm a member of that chapter.
I didn't put my ride in. I'm very disappointed.
You did not put your ride in to go to the event tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, well, my dear, you may be able to get a reprieve. I don't know, but you'll have to give them a call and maybe talk to them and see if you can. See if there's something they can do. Usually not, but you never know until you try. So I would just encourage you to, when you can, get on the phone with them. You know, they're open late tonight, and see if there's something that they can do. It's a possibility, but you'll never know. So you try.
But send me a text message, Marcus.
I most certainly will. All right.
Thank you.
I know one thing, Marcus. Next Friday, you'll tell us how everything turned out.
Well, that's for you now, because you're not going to participate.
That's why we are on the podcast.
Ooh.
Well,
and the play's going on mute.
Well, there is a way to participate. And I think Marcus will let us know how we can participate.
Well, yes, of course. Horse is a horse, of course. Oh, that's another show. I'm sorry. Yes. So tomorrow, I'm going to be participating. Extra Hype Connection. That's right. Tomorrow's event, the walk/jog/run. It's called the Coast to Coast Movement Challenge. Okay. Sponsored and hosted by the National Federation of the Blind. We have our version tomorrow, Saturday, May 8th, taking place in West Orange, New Jersey, at McLoons Boathouse. That's where we're meeting up between 9:30 a.m. and 9:45 a.m. so that we're all in a group. We all know exactly what we're doing. The path that we're walking on is a 5K distance, which is about 3.02 or 3 miles, something like that. Twice around this path completes the 5K. You can walk it, you can jog it, you can run it. There are going to be other people there who are going to be in wheelchairs. They'll be doing it that way. And there are other people with other, aids and other people who'll just be walking. And we'll be all going around this to raise funds for children with visual impairments who need canes, who need to learn Braille, other types of education, who need resources for employment for those who are old enough to be employed and are still minors, and for other things that they can benefit from, from their childhood on up to give them a better start or a better opportunity in life. So we'll be doing this, and we'll be raising money for those endeavors as well as other things to help out minors who have visual impairments. And the way that you can help to support and sponsor this to happen is with yours truly. Since I am participating, I have sent out messages on our text notification that tells you exactly how you can support and how you can sponsor me with a donation toward the NFB, and you will be actually sponsoring me. So you'll be like the teams that they have in NASCAR. They drive around in the car and they have the sponsors like Valvoline, or they may have Goodyear tires as a sponsor, blah, blah, blah. Well, your name goes in as a sponsor for the individual that is actually participating in the event, and that would be me if you want to do that. So there are two ways you can sponsor. It's in the notifications in the text, and I would encourage you, go and have a look. And we would love to have your sponsorship. Also, if you wish to participate, you can. It costs you nothing. You don't have to sponsor anyone to participate. If you want to come out and be in the fresh air of the reservation between South Orange and West Orange, beautiful scene, tranquil and quiet, good vibes and good energy, good people, good times, good setting, good environment, everything. Come on up. We'd love to have you walk around with us. Let's take a long walk around the park. Oh, that's a different song. I'm sorry. Just come on up, participate with us, be active, have some fun, get to meet some people, get to talk with some people, get out in the fresh air, get active, get moving, because this is what it's all about, people. All right? So we're not limited. We're only limited as far as we limit ourselves. So if you would love to, we'd love for you to come up and participate with us at McLoons Boathouse, 9 Cherry Lane, West Orange, New Jersey. That's where we're starting and meeting, 9:30 a.m. to 9:45. We're going to congregate there at the parking lot, take one big group photo, and then we're going to get started with our event. All right?
Question.
If y'all live far away from there, you can walk from your house to there.
Question. Can we take New Jersey Transit to Penn Station and pick up the Route 73 bus and get to where you're talking about?
I believe that 73 bus goes to Turtleback Zoo, which is on Northfield Avenue. And actually, the path is right there by the zoo, because the zoo intersects at Northfield Ave and Cherry Lane. It's right there on the corner. So as soon as you get there, you find McLoons Boathouse. That is where we are meeting. So yes, the 73, I believe if it goes up Northfield Avenue, which I'm quite sure it does, yes, you can meet right at Northfield Ave and Cherry Lane, or tell the driver you want to get off at Turtleback Zoo as near to Northfield and Cherry Lane as you can. And McLoons Boathouse is right there at that intersecting corner. And that's where we'll be meeting, 9:30 a.m. sharp to get started. Don't want to miss the group photo. All right. Come on out and represent. I know some of us from grown folks are going to be there. We're going to be repping. The Extra Hype Connection is going to be there. We have some wolf packs gearing up to get ready to come out and join us from the Alpha Pack, and a whole host of others. So if you want to join us, come on out. We'd love to have you. Love to have you. All right. Any other comments, any other questions about tonight's topic or tomorrow's event? All righty now. Well, I want to tell you, tonight, immediately following this podcast at 8 p.m., please tune back in after we clear the line, for thine will be done with Edward. That's right, 8 p.m. tonight. Tune in for Thine Will Be Done with Edward. He'll be on tonight. He'll be hosting, and he'll be bringing the topics that you love to talk about until the wee hours of the morning. I tell you, every time they get on, they go further and further. They done set a record last time. I said, you guys doing a marathon, 12:30 a.m. Oh, my goodness. But it gets intense. It gets deep. It gets interesting. So you might want to come back out and join it, especially if you're just sitting there, you're not doing anything. Get on the line. Listen. Get into the conversation. Have a talk. It's a really good thing, and it's really interesting, Eddie, because sometimes it's long-winded, but it's all right. Tonight, Thine Will Be Done at 8 p.m. Come on back with us, all right? And tomorrow, just to give you the rundown for Saturday, at 7 a.m., we got the prayer call, Miss Carol Lucille. Great way to start today on Positive Vibes. 7 a.m. Tune right back into the same number you called in for the prayer call. 7 days a week, 7 a.m. Miss Carol Lucille brings it to you faithfully. At 12 noon tomorrow, I believe we have Dr. Eric Baseka coming in tomorrow to bring you his podcast. So tune in with Dr. Eric B. tomorrow at 12 noon. Then at 6 p.m., we're going to have Boris Nets. Guess what? He's going to be at the event tomorrow up at the reservation for the Coast to Coast Movement Challenge. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. As well as 8 p.m.'s podcast, Becky, that's right, the Healthy Lady. She's going to be at the event tomorrow. That's right, tomorrow at the Coast to Coast Movement Challenge in West Orange, New Jersey, at McLoons Boathouse. That's right. They're coming out. They're showing their love and support for this event and representing Grown Folks Network. So, yes, 6 p.m., Forrest Nance will be on tomorrow with his special guest after the event. At 8 p.m., Becky, the Healthy Lady, will be bringing it to you with her style of health and cuisine that I know you're going to think is the best that you have seen. So, that is tomorrow's lineup. And as is customary, everybody, Low Focus, I turn the mic over to you. Brother, you got the last word. And you take us out of here.
Oh my goodness. Thank you once again, everyone, for showing up to another edition of Cooler Talk here with yours truly, Flow Focus, and your host, Marcus, right here with the Extra Hype Connection. Listen, guys, don't forget tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., right there at McLoons Boathouse. I'm going to try to make it there. You know, God willing, we'll all be able to see each other and show up and show out for the event that they've got going on. What'd you say? Is it at 6 o'clock tomorrow night after the
Oh, yes.
marathon?
Yes, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for those of you who are interested at Bethany Baptist Church, 275 West Market Street, Newark, New Jersey. Brick City! Guess what we got? We got the Jazz Vesper. That's right. They're having the Jazz Vesper at Bethany Baptist Church. It's a free concert event. There's plenty of room. That's right. They even have an overflow room, which they have been using, so get there early. They're having the Jazz Vesper live jazz artists playing from 6 to 8 p.m. So you might want to come on out, my friends. It's going to be an eventful day tomorrow, beginning at 9:30 a.m. and then continuing from 6 to 8 p.m. at Bethany Baptist Church. So I will be there. Some other people from our community and from the network will be there. So why don't you be there as well? All right? All right. And one
All
more
right.
thing. One more thing, Flow
Oh,
Focus. Next Friday, Flow Focus, you know what next Friday is.
it's not
Mm-mm-mm.
Flip Side Friday, but yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Interdependent Holistic Healthy Options Summit. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. With 7 holistic practitioners. Some of them are doctors. Some of them are herbalists. Some of them are nutritionists. And some of them deal with your emotional and mental well-being and balance. and how they all intersect together to make us a better and more positive version of ourselves organically, holistically, and naturally. And they deal with a whole host of physical as well as emotional issues that we're all seeming to have some type of engagement with. But guess what? They have had a lot of success with physical ailments, emotional trauma, and mental trauma as well. So we're bringing them here next Friday, 5:30 p.m. we start. Get in early to get your seat because a lot of seats have already been claimed. So get in early, grab a seat, 5:30 p.m. We're going to have
Yes.
two sessions, one half intermission, other half. So tune in. We'll have the notices going out, and please share. Please share. Forward them to your contacts. Please share. All right? All right.
Absolutely. And you can always look at these events and more at prologicstrategies.com/news. All of the details of the event will be in the description. You can RSVP and all those different types of wonderful things. And don't forget to tune back in here again on Monday for From Poverty to Prosperity with yours truly and your host, Marcus. But listen, guys, I had a great time tonight. I enjoyed the conversation, and I hope you did too. Don't forget to check us out on our on my YouTube page at Flow Focus. Spell it wrong, you got it right. So stop playing like what up though, and you will be able to watch this and all of our previous episodes up back to like April or back to like August, right? And moving forward, you'll be able to catch us there every Monday and Friday, just like you can right here on the Grown Folk Talking Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, remember, we love you. And
We love
there's
you.
nothing you can do about it. So
Nothing you can do about it.
take care, ladies and gentlemen, and good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night.
everybody. Thank
Good
you for tuning
night.
in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. See you
Mhm.
next time.
Until we meet again. Arrivederci.
Au revoir.
Come right back in for Brother
Au
Edward.
revoir. Au revoir.
Come right back in for Brother Edward.
What's he doing?
Thine
8
will
p.m.
be done at 8.
8 p.m. 8 p.m. Thine will be done.
Oh,
Podcast.
You'll enjoy it.
okay.
All right.
Have a great evening, everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.